you have to be able to spot abusive and narcissistic people as early as possible, because if you don't, it can destroy your life. You know, my dad was extremely abusive. My whole family was honestly abusive towards me as I was growing up, and it just wasn't normal, the stuff that I was going through, but I didn't know what was going on because I was young. And that's the problem, is a lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of times when parents are abusive, they'll put on an act to everyone else in the community. Like, your dad might beat you at home, but then he'll go to his boss and act like a good employee. And so everyone thinks that the kid is just being disrespectful or being ungrateful. Like, why is this kid acting out? They don't see at home that the kid isn't being fed. They don't see at home that the kid's being locked in rooms. They don't see at home that the kid's being hit and not loved and not appreciated. And so the problem is, like, I did everything to try to please my dad, and he left me with nothing. He ended up kicking me out, and he married a woman from a different country, gave her a citizenship while leaving my mom with nothing, and he let this woman's son move in with him while kicking me out while I had health issues. You know, and that could have killed me because I had health issues. So economically, I had to spend money on things like food, and and my health issues still haven't healed at all. And, you know, I can keep blaming my father forever, and I have a valid excuse for having health issues because my dad did not feed me what I wanted growing up, even though he was an engineer that made a lot of money. You know, I don't know where his money was going. I don't know if it was going to swingers clubs. I don't know if it was going to women that he was cheating on my mom with. I don't know where it was going, you know? And so I had health issues that were partially caused by my upbringing, because they say your gut and your brain are connected. And I was in the hospital at 18 during prom with an intestinal blockage. And I told my dad I was depressed since the age of 6. And he's like, depression's not real. He was never like, he's like, why are you depressed? You're in America. Because he was born in Cuba. And he never asked, like, are we feeding them right? He never asked himself, is me locking my kid in rooms all day and hitting him as a way of raising him, is that depressing him? So I may have had gut issues at a very young age because I told my parents I was depressed, and they say your gut and brain are connected. And so I'm not saying it's 100% my dad's fault, because I may have made some of my own decisions that led me to my health condition. But how much of your own decision can you make during the first 18 years of life, where your dad's an engineer and your mom's a nurse, and society expects them to feed you just fine because they're making plenty of money, and so no one tries to help you eat enough because no one expects you to be starved and beaten at home and treated so poorly by people that are so high up in the community, an engineer, you know what I mean? And so the issue is, when you're young and you don't know how to identify it, you can lose decades of your life that you may never be able to get back. And so as I'm maturing, I'm realizing, like, you know, I didn't get to choose the family that I was born into, but am I gonna let a stranger do that to me? I have a choice who I let into my life. I didn't get to choose my father, but I get to choose the people that I let into my life. And so am I gonna let a stranger do that to me? No. I've had people try to come in my life and treat me like dirt, and I didn't let it happen because, you know, I've been through so much pain, and a lot of it has been caused by allowing other people to influence me in negative ways because I trusted them. But I didn't realize that their intentions weren't pure. And so over time, I've realized that before you allow anyone into your life, it's important to be discerning of their intentions, Because if someone doesn't have the right intentions for you, you can try as hard as you want to help uplift them. But they might not have pure intentions. So no matter how hard you try to be good to them, they might not give you the same in return. They might backstab you. They might cheat on you. They might lie to you, and you don't want that. So it's important to use discernment. Don't be afraid to ask people questions. Don't be afraid of looking weird. Like, oh, how could you ask that? I would never do that. Who gives a fuck how you look? This is your life. And who you choose to allow into it and be a part of it is your choice. So don't be afraid to ask people questions to get to know them. Like, don't be afraid to ask a woman that you're interested in or a man that you're interested in their views on different things. And if someone is being shady with you and not being communicative, maybe they're trying to hide something, you know? And so it's important, in my opinion, I've realized over time, to understand where people are coming from. Because if someone's not coming from a pure place, it doesn't matter how much you try to pour into them, because they may not give you the same in return. And so we're supposed to be working together to create heaven on earth. That's God's intention for us, is we're all supposed to be working together. And so if you're not trying to uplift those around you, and you don't genuinely care for those around you, then you're doing something wrong, because you're supposed to care. And I don't think my dad cared if I was alive or dead, and that's wrong. You're supposed to care about the people around you. We're supposed to care for one another. A lot of people think it's cool these days to not care. Like, I played that dude, haha, or haha, I fucked her, and you know, I broke her heart, haha. You know, I hear it, I feel like more so from women. I don't think men are really like that. But I feel like not really women. Most women aren't like that either. I'm just thinking about one woman in particular. I've heard that from a person. Really just a person. Not many people are that fucked up. Not many people are making fun of playing other people. That's just another level. But that's what I'm saying, is some people out here are so fucked in the head, they'll make fun of playing other people. And some people just want to play and be played. So if you play her back, is it really your fault? Because that's all she wanted to do, was play games to begin with. And so you got to make a decision for yourself. Do you want to be surrounded by people who are playing games with you, or do you want to be surrounded by people who genuinely care about you as a human being? Do you want to be surrounded by fake ass people who life to them is a game about, ooh, can I one up this person? Who's better than who? Or do you want to be around people that see the beauty in the uniqueness of every individual? People who don't view life as a competition, but instead view life as a gift to come together and enjoy each other's unique gifts and blessings. Because it's not about who's better than who, because we all have something unique to offer. It's about loving one another and appreciating that God created us all for our own unique and individual reason, and that's why we're all here. Because if one person was better than the other, then we wouldn't all be here. We're all here because God said all of us are a blessing in our own unique way. And so you got to ask yourself, do you want to be around people for the rest of your life who think life is a competition about who's better, me or my man? Oh, he cheated on me, so I got to go fuck 8 other niggas to outdo him. Oh, he flirted with her, so I got to go suck his dick to outdo him. Do you want your life to be some competition where you try to outdo each other until both of you are so stressed out that you lose all your hair and go gray? Or do you want to live forever in love? Because you and the people around you don't view it as a competition, but instead you work together to create heaven on earth because you view life as an opportunity to love one another. And it's not an opportunity to outdo one another. You've already been blessed by the Creator to exist, which means you're already good enough. You don't have to outdo anyone. In fact, the better everyone is around us, the better our lives are. Because think about this, if everyone around you was fit, it would be easier for you to get fit. There would be no competition. If everyone around you was eating healthier, it'd be easier to buy organic food. The ecosystem would be better. The environment would be better. People would treat you better. Even if you're fat and obese and out of shape, you still want everyone around you to be fit because that means it'll be easier for you to get fit. Because everyone will be nicer to you because they'll be healthier. So your emotional, they say cortisol can increase fat gain in some people. Not all people, because everyone's genetics is different. I don't put on fat very easily. But cortisol can increase fat gain in some people. And a lot of times people's cortisol is high because people treat each other like shit. And being in toxic relationships can raise your cortisol. A lot of toxic relationships stem from, in my opinion, people not treating their bodies right. Because when you don't treat your body right, it affects your mentality. And if you're out of shape, I don't blame you. We're given a lot of bad information in today's society. But what I'm trying to, and I have health issues myself because of bad information that I've been given. So I'm not judging you if you're not in perfect shape. But what I'm trying to say is your gut and your brain are connected. So health, physical health can improve mental health. And if we're all more mentally healthy, we'd all probably treat each other better naturally, which means we'd all stress less, which means it'd be easier for us all to get fitter. Because when you stress less, your hormones actually digest food differently, believe it or not. So if we all treated each other better as a human species, it would be easier for us all to get fitter because our hormones would be functioning better. So that's why it's important who you surround yourself with, because that can actually affect your hormones. Because cortisol, the stress hormone, can affect how your body breaks down food. And if you're around the wrong people, it can stress you out. And you don't get to choose your parents, but you get to choose the people. You know, you get to choose your partner. You get to choose to be single. You get to choose your friends. You get to choose to not have friends. You get to choose to hike the mountain alone, or you get to choose to eat Cheetos and drink beer with your loser friends, or you get to choose to work out with good friends that are good for you and that encourage you to do better. And so who are you surrounding yourself with on a day-to-day basis? I used to think I was above it. I used to just hang out with just anybody for unlimited periods of time. But I feel like I can't do that anymore, because over time I've realized you might think that you're above it, like, oh, this person's not going to influence me. And then next minute, you know, you're hitting the vape. Next minute, you know, you're doing crack. Next minute, you know, you don't know where the time went. And so even if you don't think they're influencing you, they might be influencing you. I thought I was above it, but over time, I feel like I'm starting to realize who we surround ourselves with is key. And you don't always get to choose who you surround yourself with. Like, you don't get to choose your parents. So if you can't choose them, try to encourage them to change as best as you can. And if they just straight up give up on you, like my dad, there's nothing you can do about it. But try not to stress about how your parents are treating you. Try to set boundaries. Try to make things better. Because you don't always get to choose the people in your life, but you get to choose how you treat them. And if you're truly a good leader, you may be able to influence how they're treating you over time. The problem was in the beginning, I thought I was immune to it. I was like, oh, these people are treating me like shit. It's whatever. It's just them. Until it ends up affecting you, because you keep letting people treat you like shit. They just keep stepping it up. Next thing you know, your dad kicks you out, and now you got to move back in with your mom. So that's what I'm saying is, like, if I would have built the relationship with my dad, if I would have worked on the relationship with my dad, I probably would have maybe been in a better place with him. But because I was okay with just taking his disrespect day by day, it compounded over time. So that's what I'm saying is, like, you may think it's just these little things here and there, but you let those little things slide, and then people think they can just get away with more and more and more and more. And next thing you know, the relationship is ruined when you might have been able to save it if you would have been setting boundaries from the beginning. And that's the problem, is I let my own father treat me so horribly. I never was able to build a relationship with him. And you may think that you're helping the relationship by letting the abuser abuse you, but it's not good for you or them. It's not good for you or them. It's better for you to set boundaries, because when someone abuses you, that's not good for their mental health either. They know they're doing something wrong on a soul level. So believe it or not, you're actually, if you come from an abusive family like I did, you're actually helping you and your parents out by setting boundaries, because your parents aren't supposed to act like that. It's not good for them either. They're ruining their own souls, and they might be unaware of it. But by setting boundaries as a kid, you might be able to help give them that awareness. And one reason why I feel like this generation in specific is collapsing, I mean, I don't want to say we're collapsing. I think there's a lot of good in our generation, and I do think there is hope for the future. But one reason why I think our generation, a lot of people are struggling so much in our generation with health and just different things, is because we let our parents walk all over us. I talk to people from my generation, and for some reason a lot of us have been abused physically, verbally, and a lot of our parents didn't give us enough resources. Think about the ecosystem. They basically destroyed the planet, so that a lot of us have been fed poison since birth. A lot of us have been beaten. A lot of us have been locked in rooms, and now we're just expected to perform at this high level, like, oh, you know, get a good job and make money and buy a nice house. But it's all a scam, because even if we all played this game and we all wanted this game, this game has no real winners, because a lot of what we're doing in today's society is unsustainable. And the only way for things to be sustainable is if we're working in harmony with nature. And so, as one of my friends on Instagram says, I don't think I've ever met him in real life, but I think his Instagram name is literally Eco over Ego. So ecosystem over ego. Are we prioritizing the environment around us and our family members over our own ego? Or are we letting our ego and petty grievances get in the way of healthy relationships? Because a lot of people let their ego get in the way of progress. And I'm not saying ego is a bad thing. But when you misuse, because ego can be a good thing, because we all have our own individual tendencies. And that is one of the beauties of life, is that people have their own egos. But when you let it get out of hand, it can become toxic. So everything needs to be in balance. Yes, you and your needs are important. And so in that way, your ego can help you sometimes. Because you're like, I'm Juan. I need to make sure I make enough money and eat enough food today. And yes, that's important to have that ego. I'm Juan. I need to get enough food in me today. But you have to realize your food comes from the environment, the ecosystem. So just because you have your own needs and desires doesn't mean that you can prioritize those over everybody else's. Because if you take care of everyone around you, including the environment and the ecosystem, you'll be able to meet your needs even better. Because when everyone around you is doing better, including the ecosystem, it helps you do better. Think about it. For any business owner to succeed, they need a good clientele. So that means the better your clients are doing, the better you do. Let's say all of your clients are millionaires. That means they have more money to give you. So that means the better your clients are doing, the better that you're doing. The happier your clients are with their product, the better they're doing, the better the review of your company will be, the better your company will do. The better the ecosystem, the better the soil, the better the food, the easier it is for you to be healthy. Which means that yes, it's okay to have an ego, because an ego can help you get further in life. Like, oh, I'm Juan, I want to build muscle so I can look better. That can help you. So yes, having an ego can be a good thing. But for you to build muscle and get healthy, you need supporters, like people that'll give you money so you can buy the food. So the better your supporters are doing, the better you'll do. You need a good environment with organic food, so the better the earth is doing, the better you'll do. So having an ego is okay, but you can't let your ego get out of control to where you're hurting others around you for your own selfish gain, because in the end, that'll hurt you as well. Because we're all one. So the better everything is doing around you, the easier it is for you to do better. Even if you're the most selfish person on earth, it's still intelligent for you to do good to everyone. For example, let's say you genuinely don't care about women. I love women. I care about women. I actually I have empathy. I do have empathy, but let's say you don't. And all you want is just sex. That's all you care about. Just selfish, lustful sex. It's still in your best interest for you to treat women with respect, because that'll get you the most sex in the end. So I have empathy, but maybe not everyone does. So even if you're this unempathetic, psychopathic, egotistical narcissist, it's still in your best interest to realize that we're all one, because that will still give you the best life at the end of the day. Let's say all you care about is making money. Your best shot at making money is probably to have like a successful business, which means you want good reviews, which means it's still in your best interest to treat the customer the best. So, and what is the use of having all the money in the world if you can't enjoy it because you destroyed everything around you to get to it? Like some of these billionaires that are destroying our food supply, like Bill Gates with GMO food, even if he had all the money in the world, what use is it if he can't even enjoy it because the world is destroyed? Because he cut down all the beautiful land to grow GMO soy or whatever Bill Gates is doing that people don't like. Like, if these billionaires destroy the whole ecosystem for all the money in the world, how are they going to enjoy their money if the whole earth is demolished? You know? And so that's what we should be working towards as a species, is we should all be coming together to try to create heaven on earth. And unless we're doing that, what are we really doing? That's the message of today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. I'm grateful I have this platform to vent on, because a lot of people in real life don't always want to have these types of conversations. So I figure I may as well just vent about it and post it online. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. And until next one, I'm out. Peace.